Okay, game 4. We're 2-1. In pretty good shape. It does appear that the game sounds were still in the last video, so I'm just gonna try turning off my sound here. I know it's not the microphone picking it up because I'm listening to this on my headphones, and these sounds are obviously not coming from the faint sound of the headphones in the distance. So it's just kind of bizarre. I'm surprised that I can't see like an option to turn off the recording. There was an option to turn off the recording for the game sounds, but there's like a mixer in the software that I thought if I turned off the sounds for Magic the Gathering Online, it wouldn't record them. But maybe I just have to turn off all sounds. So yeah, so. Alright, so I have all sounds turned off, and hopefully we're good now. Alright, this, I think, in the blind does have to be a mulligan, because it's not a particularly good aggressive hand, or good kind of mid-rangey hand. Doesn't kill any early creatures, very susceptible to flooding if we draw more land. I don't like mulliganing hands like this, but, I think these hands are traps. So, it does have a Bone Crusher Giant, but, and, this hand only has one land, but I think the upside of possibly having a big, big rushdown potential is worth keeping. This is just how Magic goes sometimes. I've definitely won a lot of games by playing to high upside. And, like, if this was my starting hand on 7, I would probably mulligan it. But like every time you mulligan, actually you have to consider that if you mulligan again, the odds of you just forfeiting a game effectively are they go up significantly. So you have to be much more liberal in how you assess the strength of the hand each time each time you mulligan. Then you have to be much more forgiving of a fault of the next hand, and I think it's looking like this hand is probably going to play out probably okay. So that's good. Of course, there still is an issue in that this doesn't necessarily have like one of the good grinding cards, like Bone Crusher Giant or Seasoned Pyromancer or Light Up the Stage. Like Firebolt is technically card advantage, but it's card advantage and that kind of takes care of that. So I am going to, Firebolt is technically card advantage, but it's just so far ahead in the game usually where the second half comes online. I am going to, Firebolt them, be a little more aggro than I am, ironically in the more aggro matchups. Because I'm pretty sure they're a control deck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're a control deck based on especially the Mana Leak. And probably an Uro control deck. Plus, I have the Seasoned Pyromancer, so I'm kind of incentivized to want to slam it next turn if I draw land. Like, they'll probably play an Uro next turn. Gaining 3 life is a little problematic, but, I'm definitely heavily incentivized to try to finish them off as quickly as possible. Well, that seemed like a premature concession, but, I don't know. Well, they are a control deck playing blue and green in 2020. What do you think the odds are that they're not playing Uro? I think the odds are pretty high they are playing Uro, so I will be bringing in all 4 relics, all 4 blood moons, which might even be good even if Uro wasn't in the format. But with Uro, it just almost makes it impossible for them to flash it back with blood moon in play. I think gotta take that as a good thing for us. And again, I think Flame Slash, like my last games, it's good if Uro resolves, but Uro, if it resolves, it still drew them an extra card, put them ahead another 3 life, and ramp them another land drop. So ideally we don't even want Uro to come into play. And Lava Dart does lead to a dramatically higher likelihood of quick kills. Like last game, if Firebolt was Lightning Bolt, or was Lava Dart, or even Lightning Bolt was Lava Dart, that would have been even more insane damage. So, Lava Dart makes a lot of sense to me here. Plus, if they do happen to be playing Coatl, which I highly doubt, it's pretty good against that. But, yeah, just the high. Plus, it's really great to pitch to Seasoned Pyromancer, too, if you've got to pitch something. And the rest of this seems pretty self-explanatory. Also great at turning on, light up the stage. So I like leaving the Lava Darts in. The rest, to me, make a lot of sense. Relics should make it very hard for them to escape Burrow, as will the Blood Moons. So I feel good about this. Yeah, and considering that I am on the draw, and considering that I do have the potential to play Light Up the Stage on turn 2, if they don't have a Lightning Bolt for my Swift Spear, I think I will keep this, and this could end up becoming a problem, but I have both my hate pieces, and I've got the potential for early aggression. The fact that all I really need is another mountain to really be in business, or even a Horizon Land will be fine, I think makes this high enough upside to be worth it. Now, of course, they will probably be Lightning Bolting my Swift Spear, but, the good news about this hand is, even though they had exactly what they needed to make the hand less have a higher potential for failing, I still have I still have Relic, which could buy me a lot of time, and I still have another draw because I was on the draw, and there we go. So I could go for Lava Dart plus Light Up the Stage, or I could play Relic. Considering that Relic might get mana leaked, I think I'm incentivized to Lava Dart Light Up the Stage, and I know that seems like because the problem with that is if I reveal 2 lands, I can't play both of them because I already played one this turn. Which there's no way around it. I can't Lava Dart and Light Up the Stage without doing that. Also, if I draw any 2 spells, I may have to lose both if I draw land next turn because I may want to play Blood Moon instead. But I still think the upside is high enough because one or two things is going to happen. Either they leave themselves vulnerable to Blood Moon possibly locking them out. They don't fetch basics. They don't leave mana open. Either they put themselves in a position where Blood Moon threatens to just win the game on the spot, or they don't. If they don't, I think this is probably the overall better play. But if they do, I think I'm perfectly fine with losing potentially up to 2 cards. And I think I can live with that too. That was probably the worst thing they could have done, but it's still not that bad. So if I draw a land to jam Blood Moon or to play Relic, well, we don't have to ask that question. I think I'm just gonna. Problem with playing Relic is it would just be a disaster if they mana leaked it. Yeah, I'm gonna stomp at the end of the turn. Get in a little damage. Sometimes they counter stomp. I don't think that's correct. I think usually, it's worth it to just take the 2. And if it's usually the giant they're more concerned about, they can counter that. They might counter the stomp, but either way, I just don't want to expose the Relic. I mean, it could potentially clear the coast for Blood Moon, but it's looking like Blood Moon is mostly going to be just for keeping them off Uro anyway. And Stomp is looking very sweet here. I didn't know they played this in Bant or in what do you call it? In Temur Uro, but we do have a clean answer here, so there is that. Yeah, playing Blood Moon would have been nice, but no other land, alas. So I'm going to lead with the Relic. You know, all they can really do is force a negation. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I was going to do this either way, but it didn't really matter, truth be told. Yeah, so, you know, engineered explosives on 1 would be the worst for us here. But, barring that, I think we're actually in pretty good shape. You know, maybe they don't actually play Uro, but it is looking like Relic still has merit. If I had it up, I could have dealt with Snapcaster. I'm a little surprised they didn't go after Lightning Bolt, or they didn't target Lightning Bolt, because Soulscar Mage I would think would be something they want to deal with, but maybe they've already got another burn spell. I don't know. I find that interesting. Even if they have another burn spell, there's more. Yeah, they do. I mean, you would think they know. I mean, they even know we've got a Bone Crusher Giant. I don't know. Maybe they play Field of the Dead. Maybe they do play Uro still. They probably do still play Uro, truth be told. They probably want to dig to something. It's probably not. It's probably they're probably making the right play. I'm guessing. Just odd, because you know, overall, flashing back something that has like a direct value oftentimes seems better. So I'm gonna light up the stage. I got to start drawing more lands. You know, period. Dealing with Snapcaster seems nice, and losing the beats and what seems to essentially be a control deck might be a little tilting, but I mean, I got to draw more lands, and this is the only line that really enables that, and well, not quite more lands. There's something to keep in mind when you keep a one-lander also, is that it increases the likelihood that this might happen, because, you know, you might draw one more land, but, you know, like, 2 more lands is definitely less likely than drawing 1 more land. Like, if you have a 2-land hand, the odds of you drawing 1 more land are much better than if you have 1 land drawing 2 more lands over the next, say, 4 or 5 turns. So, that is something to consider. Each less land you have, the more likely that you are going to be mana screwed. Okay, that's nice. So, I got some choices. I could play the Seasoned Pyromancer. I don't kind of like that, because I don't really like the idea of ditching the Bone Crusher Giant. If I could ditch one of these Blood Moons and one other card, I might. But also, you know, having the Lava Dart go to exile seems less than ideal. I think I'm not gonna play it, as much as I would like to have access to the rest of the you know, more mana down the road with Seasoned Pyromancer. Instead, I think I'm just going to dart the Snapcaster Mage, and then probably on their upkeep, I'm going to try to stomp the Wolf. I don't want to take more damage. It's funny that the control deck is putting me under a lot of pressure. This might actually be some type of mid-range pile. Alright, this is interesting. You know, to crack Relic or not to crack Relic, I need to draw more lands, but at the same time, I'm going to take a lot of damage here. I mean, I could flashback Lava Dart. I could draw into a burn spell, but all I'm basically drawing into is another Lava Dart or Lightning Bolt, given this particular configuration. You know, and plus also on top of that, you know, they could, you know, like, yeah, there's still advantage to having a Relic in play. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to let this go. And in response to their opt, I think I am going to stomp the Wolf. You know, I think stomping the Wolf is a little bit better value. You know, they could do like Cryptic Command bouncing their own Snapcaster Mage shenanigans, but I do always have Lava Dart anyway. Not necessarily the most ideal solution to something like that, but it might deter it anyway. Worse would probably be Teferi, because then I wouldn't have the option to respond, and I'd have to preemptively flashback Lava Dart to prevent them from getting another 2-for-1 Snapcaster Mage. But, you know, thankfully... Oh yeah, what am I saying, Teferi? They haven't shown me any white. It's unlikely they're 4-color. But yeah, something to consider. Well, if I knew this, I would have probably wanted to ditch the other 2 Blood Moons. But, you know, there might still be enough value to be had just with these Bone Crushers. I am going to play them, though, because I don't want to flashback Lava Dart. But at the same time, I don't want to take any more damage with Snapcaster Mage. And I'm beginning to seriously doubt whether they have Uro. But even in, like, a more mid-rangey type of Temur deck, I would still have to imagine that that Uro is a pretty likely card they're playing. And I'm keeping a Relic activation up, mostly just on the off chance they have Scavenging Ooze. I may want to eat my own creature, but I think overall going for their Graveyard makes a little more sense. Alright, well, they might blow up my Relic now in advance, which probably signals Uro. In which case, I'm glad I'm holding on to this Blood Moon. Yeah, because I don't think they can actually get Basic Forest. So the Blood Moon is very likely to... well, Goyf. Goyf is good too. Yeah, I'm going to take... I have to be able to play this Bone Crusher Giant, I think. Yeah, and I think where I want to be... Let's see, turn off the auto yield. I think I need to Lava Dart the... I think I have to double Lava Dart the Tarmogoyf. Not looking like a good situation, but I gotta play to some type of out. Alrighty, well, I do have the Lava Dart, so I guess it's play Blood Moon. At least that makes it so that I don't die to tapping my own Sunbaked Canyon, so there is that. And I think I'll Lava Dart on upkeep. It doesn't really make a difference, but, you know, I guess just good to build that habit. Plus they might play something at end of turn, too. I'm even going to sack this. If they deal with Blood Moon, it's such a liability now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I stem the bleeding. Nope. You know. So maybe they don't have Uro, and if they don't have Uro, I'm not so sure Blood Moon is actually worth it. Suddenly, Flame Slash is looking a lot better if they play Tarmogoyf. You know, the difference between Flame Slash versus Jund and Flame Slash versus like this whatever Temur type mid-range deck, like Temur Jund of sorts, is that Flame Slash is liable to sit in my hand, and I can't fire it off in response to a discard spell. You know, so it's a bit vulnerable to the targeted discard or to Liliana upticks. Whereas with this Temur mid-range type deck, I think the upside of Flame Slash is better than, for example, Firebolt You know, and actually they've presented enough like 2 toughness creatures like Huntmaster of the Fells that I'm actually thinking Fireball is superior to Lava Dart. I mean, it will make me possibly a little less explosive, but you know, but Fireball will give me, I think, an even better long game here. But there still is some merit to possibly some Blood Moons, especially if they do have Uro and I miscast them. I mean, they had so many draws. It seems likely that if they played Uro, they would have. Man, it's just Uro is so good. Why would they not play it? Well, whether they play it or not, they're definitely not super reliant on it. So I think we're gonna play 2 Flame Slashes and 2 Blood Moons, and that way we'll be a little less susceptible to Blood Moon Flood like last game. I just have to think they play Uro, and Blood Moon can just be so helpful there. You know, maybe they only play 2 or 3 instead of all 4. You know, unfortunately, I can't afford to drop another game. And you know, even though we haven't seen it in games 1 or 2, well, game 1 was over so quickly that you know, it's almost like, you know, they didn't even play their 3rd land. I'm gonna say they do have Uro, and just wanna have a little extra help against that. Well, there's the Flame Slash, you know, instead of Blood Moon. Let's see if, you know, maybe they do have Uro, or maybe they would be particularly susceptible to Blood Moon. But you know, I think Flame Slash is good enough on its own merit that even if Blood Moon would have been better, still a decent chance that Flame Slash will help us get there. So probably holding up for a mana leak. Yeah, I'm gonna fire off the Firebolt. There's just, again, this is just one of those situations where you probably have a Lightning Bolt. Probably not, actually, because now they are particularly susceptible to getting blown out. You know, so they could be trying to next level me and waiting for the Lightning Bolt, but I don't see much reason to do that. I would have just fired off the Lightning Bolt in response to the Firebolt. So I am gonna, you know, bring them down to 13, and then they will go down to 4 from there because they'll take 9. So I think that's worth it. Oh, maybe Mana Leak. Also fine, I think. Or maybe what's it called? Aether Gust. Ah, well, that actually is the best counterspell for us they could have played instead of the worst, like it was the last time they played it. Well, maybe I miscalculated. Oh no, yeah, because they cracked a fetch land. It would have been at 3 if that resolved. Well, looks like this is going to be probably somewhat similar to game 1. I mean, Engineer Explosives and another land could have been problematic for us, but, you know, I mean, they still are effectively at 3 if they can't counter this. Possibly Season Pyromancer draws more cards. Oh, it looks like they got rushed. Well, cool.